My third guy plays some games.
Alright, hi everybody. Weather Guy here, and we are back with some more of the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We are entering, or soon to enter, the third part of this trial. We'll see how it goes, I don't know. Joyful, jubilant jumping jacks. We are waiting for them to fetch Olive Green because she is the latest target that we believe has actually committed this crime due to her connection to Duncan Ross, right? I don't really buy it, honestly. I always thought Meter Man made more sense, which I harped on a lot last time, but I'm curious to see how they make it make sense, right? Especially considering how they explain away the fact that Olive Green had a coma. So we'll see. Oh, Mr. Natsume, I'm so pleased for you. Locum student Mr. Ryu Esquire and non-locum judicial assistant Miss Mikitoba Esquires. Now, finally, at long last, there can be proof. Proof that I'm innocent and proof that my tea is innocent. Ah, good morning, my dear fellows. Herlock Sholmes. May you drink my tepid tea and fall forever silent. Thought the tea was innocent. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you came. How wonderful. Please, save your derision. I know what you're all thinking. Good morning, he says, when it's fairly nearly time for luncheon. Your scorn is written clearly across your faces. Yes, reminder. Herlock Sholmes said that he would be there for the morning part of the trial, and he simply was absent. We believe he slept in, but there could be some other reason. Nobody said or thought anything of the sort. Truth is, I was determined that today would be the day. Had sleep seduced me last night, I thought, tomorrow, for once, I shall not oversleep. I'll rise early and be present in court to support my companions. Such spirited determination has a beauty all of its own, does it not? Oh, yes. And then I began to muse on the subject. Why do people oversleep, I queried. Why, time after time, do they make the same foolish blunder? And the answer came to me at once. It's so delightfully simple. People oversleep because they sleep. Well, is that not an astute insight into the matter? Astute insight? I have no idea what he's talking about. He's just like the guy who says, like, you can tell it's Photoshopped because of how it is, right? It's not really actually saying anything. Oh, yes. Upon which realization, I attempted an experiment. I didn't sleep a wink all night. And the results? By first light, I was exhausted and began to be assailed by fits of drowsiness. Very obviously. So his plan was, I can't oversleep if I never go to sleep to begin with, which honestly is not terrible logic, but obviously he probably ended up falling asleep anyway. Shocking. And so the conclusion of last night's experiment is this. A good night's sleep is quite simply essential. Yes, I think most of us probably knew that already. What others presuppose I've proved by experimentation. That, my dear fellow, is the scientific method. Great day today for me, by the way. I got a library card. And 3 books. And one of the books I actually got was a set of Sherlock Holmes novels, so I'm excited about that. It's called, I think, The Final Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, so I'm excited to dive into those. We'll see how it goes. I also got a book called The Pirate King, which apparently has Sherlock Holmes in it as well, as a character. At least that's what it says on the cover. I don't know much about it. Then I also got like the biography, not biography, but the Hamilton for the musical. I got the book about that, right? That has the notations for the lyrics and stuff and the history of how it was made and everything. So I think that was pretty interesting. Very nice. Off topic, but library is great. You should all go to the library. There's so many resources there, and this library is insane. It lets you check out 30 items. 30! At the same time. I would never do such a thing, but it's crazy. Ah yes, and one more thing. Do you remember this? And we do remember that. That is the vial of poison that Mrs. Green had that Herlock Sholmes took. Ah! Yes, of course. Oh, oops. Yes, of course. It's the poison that Miss Green was about to drink at the hospital yesterday. Oh, you didn't manage to... It was a laborious task, as the bottle was near empty, but such inconveniences do not hinder Sholmes. I managed to confirm that it contained Strike 9. Right? So I was right. Perhaps, though of course such circumstantial evidence doesn't prove Miss Green's guilt. I shall leave the bottle in your care now, but licking the inside of the neck is not recommended. Great. Who is this? Oh, it's our buddy Gregson, the god. Gregson, how good of you to come. Forget it, excuse me. Oh, that's interesting. He must have had something important to say, but thought better of it. Wait a minute, Inspector. Got my fish and chips now. Don't wish to make a nuisance of myself. The look on your face, I'd say it's someone else who you think is making a nuisance of himself. My dear Inspector, please, speak freely. Pretend that I am not here. Believe me, if I could do that, life would be a whole lot simpler for me. Yeah, the result, Inspector, of the investigation of Mr. Shakespeare's room. Not yet. Shouldn't be long now, though. No, I'm here about something else. That dead convict, actually. Steven? Something like that. Oh, you mean the man from this newspaper article we discovered yesterday in Mr. Shakespeare's room? A man by the name of, Selden. I was way off. That's exactly like the Samsonite Swanson bit from Dumb and Dumber. Even the same first letter. I went through the archives at the yard and dug out the fellow's file. There's something in there that, well, it caught my eye. Something caught your eye? Wait, it's what, Inspector, what? I've copied out the relevant parts for you, so you can read it for yourselves. Thank you. Man, I feel like Shakespeare's gonna be Selden. I feel like that's what it's gonna be. Now we got two things to look at in the court record. These documents include the details that were in the newspaper cutting we found in Mr. Shakespeare's room. I'll rearrange everything in the court record so we don't have duplicate information. Amazing. Good job. Why are you giving us a copy of this important file, though? Let's look at it now. So we have bottle of poison. Let's examine it. Nothing on the bottom, but we can look at it. So if this is the poison we've been hearing so much about, Strike 9. There are a few remnants on the bottom of the bottle here, look. You must be tempted to try it. Of course not, as long as we don't lose this trial. Terrible joke. No, even if we lose the trial. No, we mustn't lose the trial in the first place, Mr. Ryu. Make your mind up, Susato. Alright, anything else? Inside? No. Anything along the sides? No. Alright. Let's read the big print first. Scotland Yard's file about the convicted criminal Selden that includes a newspaper article about him dying of illness in prison, right? Yep, okay. Investigative findings related to Selden. 18 counts of burglary, 6 counts of suspected murder. Died of natural causes whilst in prison. His final moments witnessed only by his cellmate. The estimated £1,000 worth of loot he stole remains uncovered. I have a new theory about something. I think Selden is either alive and is Shakespeare, or Shakespeare was his cellmate and learned about where the loot is hidden. And I have a theory that it is actually hidden in Soseke's room. Because if you recall correctly, Shakespeare really wanted to be in the room that Soseke is currently in, right? And that Duncan Ross was in before. But he was unable to do that because obviously it was occupied. So maybe that is the reason for the attempted murders. To drive people out of the room and then hopefully he's able to relocate down there. Just an idea. Condemned criminal dies of natural causes in prison. Manchester's Strange Ways Prison announced the death of convicted murderer and burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hours this morning. I'm curious about if he has a last name. I'm wondering why they're omitting that. It seems like it might be relevant. He had been suffering with fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead, before his capital punishment could be carried out. Fever, okay. So... And we can't examine this in any further way. Okay. Let's continue. Well, you're the ones who turned up the clue in the first place, aren't you? I'm just making sure things get handled in the proper fashion. Oh, Scotland Yard's workings are so wonderful. Indeed, my dear fellows, and the inspector here is a shining diamond in its crown. Shining diamond in the rough, maybe, like Aladdin. Look, I just don't want to be beholden to a lawyer, that's all. Right? Yep. Time to go back into court. I don't feel like doing the bailiff's lines today. Well, I shall leave you then. I'll be listening with interest from the public gallery. Not nodding off at all, certainly not. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. He's going to come up in some way during the trial, I imagine. I'm rather tired of seeing Mr. Mustache and floods of tears personally, so best of luck to you. Welcome, student Mr. Ryu, Esquire. Yes, Mr. Natsume. It's time, isn't it? Yes, this is it. It's all agreed in Mr. William Shakespeare. This is going to be the final battle. Oh boy. I won't really have saves of sake until I've exposed the whole truth of everything that's been going on. But it's all coming to a head now. You can do it, Ryu. You have to. We can do it. Trial time, baby. Come on. 23rd Feb. 12:30 p.m. The old Bailey Courtroom. There's our buddy Van Zeeks to the left. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare the court to be in session again now. Before the recess, we heard a most startling accusation from the defense. Namely, that the victim of the case we heard here only a few days ago is a true perpetrator of this incident. A reckless, rash, and prejudiced charge of wrongdoing in my opinion, my lord. However, the prosecution has tried to extend every courtesy to this amateur newcomer from dubious eastern shores. Thank you for that backhanded consideration. A rather cold assessment from the honorable British prosecutor, I must say. So, Lord Van Zeeks is a new witness present and ready to take the stand. Ready and waiting in the witness's antechamber, my lord. Very well. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in. Great, let's see them. Let's see our lovely olive green and our less lovely Shakespeare. She's painting, once again. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court, please. William Shakespeare, my liege. For mine occupation, I can say only that I be a tragic victim, to be pitied. Ugh. Currently unemployed, in other words. I am olive green. I am a fledgling artist. Well, no, not a fledgling, really. A hopeless failure who's too weak-spirited to admit she has no talent, I suppose. Also currently unemployed, in other words. What a coterie. Mr. Shakespeare. My lord, I am thy humble servant. I'm afraid that you are no longer merely the victim in this affair. The possibility has been raised that you are in fact the assailant, intent on taking the life of your fellow lodger. The part you have played in this whole business will be thoroughly scrutinized, I assure you. I would for naught else, my lord. And Miss Green? Yes? You are aware of the reason you have been summoned to this courtroom today, I presume? Yes, the officer did explain. He said I had poisoned this ridiculous buffoon. And do you accept the charge, Miss Green? I don't know anything about any poisoning. And I don't know anything about this man. Come, lady, die to live. Verily, I know not thy prickly pea-pigmented personage. Great, they don't know each other. Very well, let us proceed with the matter at hand. That being to ascertain whether or not Miss Green has any involvement in this affair. It's all very strange indeed. Why would you suspect me? I barely ever go out to the East End anyway. It so happens that I passed by that neighborhood 6 days ago, that's all. And on the night that this man was poisoned, I was still in hospital, fighting for my life. Yes, having been unfortunately caught up in the incident on the street outside the Garrett household. Brutal. An incident that rendered you unconscious for some 3 days. So sad. I was struck in the middle of my back by a knife, through no fault of my own, and now I'm under suspicion. What other irrelevant things might I be suspected of? It's all very disturbing. Your energies may be better spent worrying about random knife attacks, I feel, Miss Green. At this point in time, all that appears to connect you with Mr. Shakespeare's lodgings is the Briar Road incident of 6 days ago. That's why we would like you to testify formally now about exactly what happened. Oh no. The incident 6 days ago? You mean you want me to relive that awful incident? Unfortunately, yes. Please tell the court what happened that day. And of course, we will be interested to hear from you about your movements that day too, Mr. Shakespeare. But what happened 6 days ago has nothing to do with me being poisoned. Let us proceed then. The witnesses will present their formal testimony to the court on the subject of the incident that took place on Briar Road the evening of the 17th of February. Great. Time for some testimony followed by cross-examination. It was 6 days ago at about 5 p.m. I was walking along in the snow when I was suddenly stabbed in the back. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house, where the men in this case have their lodgings. The paintbrush against the face, is that a common technique? I was at the tavern on the eve of which thou speakest, for I had bespoke my supper. It was the first time I'd been in the area. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all. Anyway, I was admitted straight to hospital, so I knew nothing about all of this business. Makes total sense to me. Yes, the second incident inside a week at what I believe is to be aptly described as the haunted lodgings. One can only presume this is a most unfortunate coincidence. Meanwhile, you say you were not in your room, Mr. Shakespeare. 'Twas the following morn when I did awaken that I learned of the dire events. Mary, what a commotion did the officers of the law make on the floor above mine! And Soseki was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. As suspected, there is nothing connecting these two witnesses but happenstance. It's true, it does seem as though they're unrelated at first glance, but I'm not so sure. There's something lurking in the shadows here, I feel certain of it. And this is my one and only chance to expose it. Counsel, you may now cross-examine these two witnesses if you wish. Yes, my lord. Let's get into it. Time for some pressing. The evening of 17th Feb.
Hold it!
I'm well acquainted with the case. I'm sorry you had to go through that. It was awful. I still can't believe I was unconscious for so long. And I woke up to find that the case had been solved and the culprit arrested. Yes, the incident has been resolved already. Perhaps it would help you to consider it a bad dream that ended with your awakening. It should now be forgotten. Yes, I suppose so. Thank you. But before you put it completely behind you, Miss Green, I need you to remember the details one last time. You must tell the court exactly what happened that day, for us to arrive at the truth about this new case. The trouble is, there's nothing to tell, really. I was just walking along the pavement. Yeah. So what's interesting about this is we know why she was out and about that night, too. And it had to do with the mysterious letter she received, saying that they had information about Duncan's death.
Hold it!
Right? What were you doing there that day, though? What do you mean? The art school you attend, what's it called? Yes, it's the Thorndike Academy of Fine Arts. According to Miss Sholmes, that's just in the vicinity of Brixton Road, which is then some 10 stops away from the scene on the Underground. I believe you mentioned before that you also live on Brixton Road, is that right? So why then would you have been walking along Briar Road in the middle of the East End? Well, it's because, oh yes, of course, I thought it might make a nice picture. The witness is a student of art. City-dwelling artists can't all paint grand urban vistas. That's right. I happen to like the crumbling look of that part of town. Perhaps quaint would have been a less grating term. Point is, she's definitely hiding something. Yes, it seems she's not going to be forthcoming with the truth. She's trying to hide why she was there that evening. Must mean there's a reason for her not wanting us to know. That's the key to this. We already know about this, do we not? And you, Mr. Shakespeare, on the evening of the incident 6 days ago, would you tell the court what exactly you were doing? 'Twould be my pleasure, sire. Yep, and then we get to this line. We press this.
Hold it!
Now, is that the tavern she was headed to? I'm not sure. Tavern, you say? Which one? 'Twas the Slug and... it is the one. Where I did tarry. 'Tis a jewel in the East End. And a little unexpected, I feel. What do you mean, Lord Van Zeeks? The Slug and Salad offers unusually fine dining for the locality, at least. Not an establishment you'd expect to be patronized by a man with not even a crumb of bread in his room. It's true. The menu lists premium crusted bread and glasses of water in different levels of cloudiness. That is very fancy. I would have expected Grub's Grubbery in the local vicinity to be more appropriate for your means. Watery soup and mushy peas, or rather, soupy water and pea-like mush. All equally appetizing. I just wanted to try some water in a different pub for once. What's wrong with that? How different can water really be? Or perhaps there's a more plausible explanation. Specific reason why he had to go to that particular establishment. Agreed. The fact that on that day of all days he dined at a place he wouldn't normally does stand out. So Mr. Shakespeare's own actions on the day of the incident 6 days ago were slightly suspicious. I wonder if we have some evidence that can explain those actions. Let me look at our evidence. I don't think we have the evidence with us right now. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. Alright. I wish we did, but sadly I can't think of anything at the moment. If you find a clue that could explain why Mr. Shakespeare went there, you must present it to the court. Yes, absolutely. That is all on this matter, so I would ask Miss Green to reiterate her next statement.
Hold it!
What little matter, Miss Green? Please elaborate. It was nothing really, it's not worth mentioning. If you remember, you mentioned it to us yesterday at the hospital, yep? It was related to the card you were holding. Miss Green. Yeah. From memory, I believe the card contained a note that read, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. What does that matter? This has nothing to do with Duncan. There we go. Mr. Shakespeare, do you have something to share with the court? To be or not to be, that is the question. Ah, pray forgive me, the great bard's word springeth from within me with ne'er a thought. Don't tell me, it's because you're possessed by Shakespeare's spirit, right? Hearing Miss Green's words a moment ago seemed to make you think of something. Something of relevance, perhaps? Well, nay, sire, 'twas nothing at all. Presumably you know the name, though, Mr. Duncan Ross, I mean. After all, you were both lodgers in the same house. I would it were so, but sadly nay. Lodgings be a lonely occupation, sire. My lodging fellows be rarely known to me. So you haven't heard of him, even though he passed away in the room just one floor above yours? Miss Green. Me, my lord? Have I done something wrong? Card that was mentioned before, containing the note. Do you have it upon your person? I do, yes, but I don't need it anymore. In fact, I should throw it away, really. Before you dispose of it, the court will take it as evidence, please. Of course, that's what links Mr. Shakespeare and Miss Green. It's Duncan Ross. Now, continue with your testimony, please, Miss Green. Yeah?
Hold it!
Yes, you didn't regain consciousness until the day after the trial, did you? In the early hours. Exactly. So how could I have had anything to do with it? And yet you still haul me in here to court like this, honestly. So at the time of the poisoning, the witness was unconscious in her hospital bed. Could there be a more airtight alibi, I ask you? And yet, in spite of that, you claim that I was the culprit. Well, But you certainly haven't produced any evidence to support your wild claim, have you? None at all. There you have it. The good lady has yet to see evidence, my learned Nipponese friend. We have the evidence for that too, we have the poison bottle. Working on it. Counsel, I will point out here that the jury's next decision will be final. Really up against the wall here. Oh, Mr. Ryu, you pursued Mr. Shakespeare wonderfully there. It's worked out well, hasn't it? We have a new clue at last. Alright, now we need to pull off a really insightful objection somewhere. Well, as you've managed to expose this promising new angle, I wonder if you should perhaps try to develop that. Yes, of course. Yelling out objections isn't necessarily the best way to do that, I suppose. Uh-huh. So we have that. And we also have this. Or the poison one. We'll do this first. So this should be... Can we go ahead and connect these? The envelope has been ripped open rather carelessly, hasn't it? The screen strikes me as the type to open correspondence more neatly than that. What is it? The way the envelope is torn. I'm almost sure I've seen that exact same shape somewhere else. Yep. Oh, you don't mean... Are you thinking of this piece of evidence, Mr. Ryu? Exactly, that's it. Try to match them up. Yeah. Yep. They go together perfectly. The sworn off into the envelope clearly belongs with this card. Yeah. Perfect. Alright, so let's try to present this.
Objection!
This is wrong. Witness's last statement is clearly... Yeah. So I think we instead present the other part of the envelope. Which is probably fine. No big deal.
Objection!
Music didn't stop here either. I hate that. Oh, I think I know. I think I have to press again and then do it. So I think there was a time before where I had to press and then give the evidence, because, yeah, it asked me a bit ago. And then I said I'd come back to it. Foolish. So let's press first. Then we should be good. Then we should be good. Not worried. Come on. Present evidence. Yes, sire. On the day in question, is it not the case that you visited the Slug and Salad, a place you don't normally patronize, for a very particular reason? I don't know what you're talking about. Pray, if thou hast some purpose, speakest. Very well, I will present the court with evidence. Alright, we're gonna try it this time.
Take that!
I believe this card reveals the answer. Good lord, Miss Green's card, you mean? That's right, my lord. It reads, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Mr. Shakespeare, your actions on the afternoon of Miss Green's stabbing are exactly as described in this note. Personally, I find it hard to believe that's a coincidence. Don't you, Mr. Shakespeare? Well... Excuse me, can I say something? Yes, Miss Green. That card was delivered to me. It doesn't have anything to do with this odd man, does it? I love that she pointed an arrow on her thing. That's great, on her easel. Not her easel, her... Oh gosh, what's that called? I forget. You know what I'm talking about. Well, you think so, yes, but it's hard to believe it's merely... My lord, may I? May you what, Miss Green? I'd like to make something very clear about that card. Very well then, you may amend your testimony to include details about the peculiar note. Alright. Press on that.
Hold it!
I think you said that you received it the day before the incident, didn't you? Yes, that's right. There appears to be no indication of the sender's name or address on the envelope. It was in my letterbox, and that's all I know, I'm afraid. I have no idea who sent it. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Who is this Duncan Ross, please? A friend of mine. He attended the same art school as I do. He passed away in a tragic accident a month ago now, though. I wasn't sure what to make of that note, to be honest, but in the end I decided to go. So you found out what the information was? Of course I didn't. You're not thinking straight. Whilst on her way there, she was stabbed in the back. As my learned friend hopefully remembers. Ah, yes, of course. She never made it to the meeting. Oh, Mr. Ryu, you pursued Mr. Shakespeare wonderfully. Oh, we have to do more. We already had these lines. Oh, I should have presented there. I'm a fool. Because I need to present Shakespeare's side of the thing. Oh well, no big deal. Here we go.
Objection!
The day before the incident, exactly 1 week ago now, this note was delivered to your address. And upon carrying out the instructions in the note, you found yourself in hospital. Yes, I did. It's terrible, everything that's happened to me. Yes, it is terrible. If it's all true, that is. What do you mean? Miss Green, have a look at this, please. It's a torn off end of an envelope. Oh, is it? and it so happens that it fits together perfectly with the envelope of the note you received. Where did you find that? Mr. Shakespeare's room. In my room? Mr. Shakespeare, do you perhaps remember this note from somewhere? Well... Your actions that afternoon follow the instructions in the note to the letter. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on 17th. So that's exactly where you went. Let me ask you again, Mr. Shakespeare. You already knew about this note, didn't you? And you, Miss Green? What did I do? As it's torn off into the envelope proves, the note was originally in Mr. Shakespeare's room, so how is it that it came to be in your possession? I don't have the first idea. I'm just a fledgling artist after all. There's only one explanation. You broke into Mr. Shakespeare's room and stole it. What? Why? Why would she even know that note exists in the first place? Why is this the conclusion that we jumped to? I don't quite understand that. You did what? Sorry, thou hast what? You broke, that were in my room? What on earth do you want with me? Interesting. It would seem that both witnesses need to testify again. Oh man. Miss Green. Yes? Whilst you have the court's sympathy, I'm sure for the suffering you have endured in recent events, anyone found to be giving false testimony in a court of law will be duly punished. Please bear that in mind. Yes, I know. Very well then, witnesses. You will give formal testimony again now, on the subject of this curious anomaly regarding the note Miss Green claims to have received. Intriguing. I do remember now, 'twas a week ago, peradventure, that note was delivered unto me. On the day writ therein I did tarry a long hour at the Slug and Salad, yet nobody came. Thereafter, on the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow. I did see the note had vanished. I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I? I can point out the villain here. And as for that torn off piece of the envelope, I don't know anything about it. I completely agree. You now claim to have received this letter, do you, Mr. Shakespeare? Faith, 'tis so, my lord, and I would swear to have set it upon the table in my humble lodgings. Yet 'tis clear to me now that since I returned from the tavern that the night, I have not laid eyes upon it. Well, that being the case, young lady, it would appear that your testimony was... A lie? Is that what you think? How unfair of you to think I'm the one lying. I beg your pardon. I'm just a fledgling artist, as I said, and fledgling artists don't lie. That note was delivered to me at my address. Besides, we all know who the liar around here is. That's true, Miss Green. How do you explain the facts? This part of the envelope was, without question, found in Mr. Shakespeare's room. I don't see why I should explain. Sorry? I'm a fledgling artist. My job here is just to say what happened, that's all. It's your job to give the explanations and the proofs. You are the fledgling lawyer. Fledgling will do his best. Evidently, my learned friend's cross-examination is our only hope of learning the truth. Well, counsel. I'm ready, my lord. Very well, then. The defense will now proceed with the cross-examination of the witnesses. Miss Green clearly did break into Mr. Shakespeare's room. There can be no question of that. And that's how she acquired the note. It has two facts that are starting to lead me to a possible explanation for all of this. It's not a pretty one. Alright. Another set of cross-examination. Incoming, baby. Press.
Hold it!
And can you shed any light on the contents of the note at all? Nay, sire, 'tis as strange to me as a foreign tongue. Even with a knowledge of literature as great as mine, verily, 'tis impenetrable. Mr. Duncan Ross had lodgings in the same household as you. And in fact, he was your neighbor, so surely you knew him, didn't you? Alack, if the choice is betwixt I knew him and I knew him not, then 'tis with foreboding that I be forced to declare we were by some small measure acquainted. Despite your claims, though, you followed the note's instructions and went to the Slug and Salad. Presumably, that was nothing to do with your knowledge of literature. Marry, naught will have the better of me, sire, save the lure of curiosity. So 'tis true, I was compelled by mine own eager heart to betake myself to the tavern. Yet in the end, my curiosity was not satiated. Great.
Hold it!
So even after waiting for an hour, nobody appeared? Well, yes, sire. 'Tis as thou sayest. Thou sayest. Really, you paused for a moment before you answered. In truth, when thou asked whether nobody appeared, I did suddenly recall. Really, do you mean to tell the court that somebody did appear after all? I was not alone that night at the Slug and Salad, my lord. No, 'tis returning to me now. I did treat my lips to almost clear water, and mine innards to a premium crust of bread. And all around me danced a great many companions. What do you mean? Flies, sire, flies. Good lord. In the name of Beelzebub, what were they? Fairies, perchance, from a midsummer night's dream, come to taunt me? I think they were just flies. Can't help thinking that the flies ought to choose something more wholesome to buzz around. Is that wrong of me? Alright.
Hold it!
When exactly did you notice it had gone missing? Such idle thoughts ne'er occupy my mind. I am busied with greater ideas. In other words, you didn't notice. Several days passed between your outing to the tavern and Mr. Natsume's visit to your room. Yes, it would appear that the note disappeared sometime in that interval. Such idle thoughts ne'er occupy my mind. I am busied with greater ideas. Yet during that time, Miss Green was comatose in hospital, was she not? Clearly, then, she could not have been stealing things from Mr. Shakespeare's room. Yes, of course. It's all some sort of misunderstanding, isn't it, Mr. Prosecutor, sir? Great. I feel like, man, I really want Miss Green to just be innocent, you know? You have so far failed to give a satisfactory explanation as to how you came by the note. I am not here to advocate for your defense, madam. I won't tolerate inconsistencies in your story. You would do well to remember that. Oh, dearie me. What's Lord Van Zeek's getting at?
Hold it!
Seems that this note was actually delivered to Mr. Shakespeare 1 week ago. Oh, does it? But for some reason it ended up in your possession. I can't think of any way that could have happened except for you breaking into Mr. Shakespeare's lodgings.
Objection!
But for what reason would the witness have done that? I won't deny that Miss Green's possession of the note would appear to defy logic. However, until and unless her involvement in this case can be proven in some other way, any further pursuit of the note is meaningless. Miss Green could only have come to be in possession of the note by stealing it from Mr. Shakespeare. That's simply not true. Mr. Shakespeare could have given it to her. right? Yet there's no obvious reason why she would have done such a thing. What if there was some other reason she broke into his lodgings, though? Yes, we should pursue that idea, Mr. Ryu. We're close now, I can feel it. So close to a breakthrough.
Hold it!
So you don't want to tell the court the truth about the letter, is that it? I'm a fledgling artist, remember? Artists are nearly always introverted characters. Introverted? This fledgling doth readily cast aspersions about my nature. Yet I am an angel, a seraph. Birds do harmonize with my song. The wind doth frolic on my wing. Oh pity, wherefore dost thou accuse one so pure of heart, ample woman? Pure of heart? I don't think so. Even a fledgling like me can see you're just a failure. Tragedy! Thou shalt not know the true heart of an artist until thine instruction hereafter by death. Oh the days, oh the years, alas to enlighten thee, thou must wait so long and in vain. Suryo, interject with some clever remark. This is your chance to shine. I'm no Shakespearean actor, Mr. Sato. No, as far as I can tell, the only thing that's going to resolve this argument is evidence. Yes. Alright. It's clear that Miss Green did in fact break into Miss Chancery's room, isn't it? That's where she found this letter. There's two more or less foregone conclusions that lead me to one terrifying conclusion. Terrifying? Yes, I'm afraid to say that the outcome of this cross-examination may well change how we look at this case completely. Alright. Let's think about what we're going to present. Let's not actually choose anything for this. Uh-huh. Seemingly there's still no relation to this yet, but it's gotta be somehow. I think it's gonna have something to do with this photo, because why was it in Shakespeare's room? So I'm gonna go with that.
Objection!
Nope. Maybe I'll just try the poison. But the poison just doesn't make sense to me because the timeline doesn't add up, right? Because this was a week ago, the poison should evaporate by then, but...
Objection!
Yesterday at the hospital, we saw you with this bottle. And though the contents spilt during the course of our meeting, a small quantity remained. According to the defense's independent analysis, Mr. Trom's chemistry set, the liquid that was still in the bottle was identified as Strike 9. What? Strike 9? The very same poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspear. Miss Green, you broke into this man's lodgings for one reason and one reason alone. To cover the end of the pipe that feeds gasoline from Miss Shamspear's room with poison. Can this be? You broke into my room to... It may seem incredible to the court, but from the remaining clues, there is only one logical conclusion that we can reach. The person who attempted to take Mr. Shamspear's life with poison was you, Miss Olive Green. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dearie. Me! Adorable. I don't know. Order, order, order! Counselor, are you seriously suggesting this woman put poison on the end of the gas pipe with intent to kill? Yes, my lord. There's no other way to explain the facts. What if Miss Green did indeed set this odious trap 6 days ago, and the victim had put his mouth to the pipe that very evening as expected? The attempted murder would have happened 6 days ago, surely. Well, that's a very good point. I know. Perhaps not, my lord. There's the clutch Van Zeeks that we like coming through. There was a significant police presence in the area that evening on account of the incident on Briar Road. Local residents were being interviewed throughout the night as part of the ongoing inquiry. A circumspect criminal would likely have chosen not to carry out any wrongdoing at that time. It's interesting because the whole reason why Shakespeare was blowing on the pipe, presumably, was to kill Soseki. But that night, or the next day, rather, I forget which it was, Soseki was in custody the whole time. So, Shakespeare would have no reason to blow on the pipe. Lord Van Zeeks? And of course, the following morning, there was more activity at Mr. Shakespeare's address. New activity? Ah, yes. You mean his fellow lodger, Mr. Natsume, being arrested on suspicion of murder? That's right. And as the defense has already proposed, Mr. Shakespeare was meddling with the gas in the pipe for a very sinister reason himself, to cause the gas stove in Mr. Natsume's room to go out, thereby asphyxiating the occupant. But once Mr. Natsume had been arrested, I nailed it. His room was under constant surveillance by the police. In circumstances, Mr. Shakespeare had no reason to blow air into the gas pipe. His intended victim being in a prison cell. With the need to tamper with the gas removed, the poison on the pipe lay dormant. And then, 3 days ago now, the situation changed again. Right, Mr. Natsume's trial, which took place here at the Old Bailey, came to an end. Trial in which the man stood accused of stabbing Miss Green in the back but was duly acquitted. That resulted in Mr. Natsume returning to his lodgings for the first time in 2 days. And that very night, his gas stove mysteriously went out. Mr. Shakespeare was mysteriously poisoned. We got it, don't we? In conclusion, the poison that was present on the mouth of the gas pipe had been put there in the victim's room some 4 days earlier. I don't know. With that new understanding, it becomes clear that this letter was all part of the plan. What plan? Court will recall that the note gave instructions to visit the slugging salad at 5 o'clock, that the recipient should tell nobody else. The reason for those instructions are now clear. To ensure that the lodger would not be at home at the stated time. Ah. To make sure I wasn't home. Exactly. While you were out, Miss Green could safely slip into your room, knowing that she wouldn't be disturbed. You mean to say that letter was written by Miss Green? Yes. And in order to cover her tracks, she took it away with her when she left. Just after she smeared poison over the mouth of the gas pipe in your room. Wow, that's clever. I like that, actually. Order, order. What do you have to say for yourself, witness? I think the big thing we're missing here still is the motive, right? For Miss Green. What's the motive? Because as far as we know, she's unaware of how Duncan Ross died. Just who are you? Why did you try to kill me? Miss Green's motive should be obvious. It's all tied up with someone whose name we've heard several times already during the course of this trial. So that's what's behind all this. You will share your apparent understanding with the court, please, counsel.
Take that!
Duncan Ross. That's right. Before the defendant, Mr. Natsume, took up residence in the lodgings of Mr. Garadev's, somebody else was renting the room. Mr. Duncan Ross. I knew I'd heard the name somewhere else. It was all over the papers a month ago, when the man died in strange circumstances at the haunted lodgings. That does ring a vague... of course, yes. I remember now. The young man they claimed was strangled by the convict's curse or some such. Sadly, my lord, it wasn't a curse of any kind, nor was it an accident. The man died as a result of Mr. Shakespeare blowing into the gas pipe and causing gas to leak into the room. It was murder, plain and simple. Oh no, not the laughs. Well, what do you know? The world is so unfair. Curses, curious deaths, that's all people cared about. It's an interesting story they want to know. It doesn't cross their minds that real people are involved. And once they're bored, just 1 month later, once the story's lost its appeal, everyone's forgotten him. You mean you? Duncan was... Mr. Ross was Miss Green's fiancé. Yeah. You may not have known until now who Miss Green really is, Mr. Shakespeare. But she's known exactly who you are all along. Because you're her sworn enemy. The murderer who took the life of the man she was to marry. Mary! Miss Green, is it not the case that in order to exact revenge on Mr. Shakespeare, you smeared poison over the end of the gas pipe? Oh man. This is all quite extraordinary. Am I correct in my understanding that you now accuse both parties, counsel? Each on different counts of murder? Yeah. Yes, my lord. That's correct.
Objection!
Inhaling so deeply, it appears that my fledgling learned friend has taken in a lungful of dubious gas that's causing his judgment to be clouded. What? Why would Mr. Shakespeare have wanted to kill these lodgers, as you say? You have completely failed to provide a motive to substantiate your accusation against the man. Yes, that's right, Mr. Reaper, my liege. I have been slighted. 'Tis all lies, I deny every utterance. You'll have to forgive me, Mr. Ryu, sir. But I don't intend to admit to anything either. Miss Green, I'm sure you'll think I'm being very rude, but I'm not going to be sent to the gallows for the likes of this scoundrel.
Objection!
You broke into the man's room. If you didn't do it to smear poison on the pipe, what was your reason? I thought I'd have a look around, that's all. Sorry? You're right, I suspected him, so I thought perhaps I might find some evidence or something in his room. Evidence that it was him who took Duncan's life. Oh vileness, oh villainy, oh tyranny, oh rotundity of a woman! But in any case, whenever I leave my room, I do turn the key in the lock. That whole place is falling apart, the locks on the doors are no different. Duncan showed me once how to unlock the door with some turps and a piece of wire. Oh awfulness, oh artfulness, oh tyranny, oh profanity of woman! We will consider your trespassing on some future occasion, but for now, tell the court what you found, what evidence your search revealed. Well, I spotted the note that I'd sent him lying on the floor. When I went to pick it up, I noticed something. One of the floorboards was loose, and underneath it I discovered a secret hiding place. Yes, we also discovered that hiding place. Inside we found a newspaper cutting, a photograph, and an empty tin box. Yes, well the thing is, when I found it, the box wasn't empty. What? There was something in it. Yes. This rather nice key. Aha, it was the key. How did he just notice the key? What are you doing with that? What the? Every ounce of color has drained from his face. Give it here, give it to me now. It's mine, I inherited it. What was that, witness? What did you say? You inherited it? No, What's all this about? He inherited that key? I knew that key was important. It was obviously important to you since you'd gone to such lengths to hide it, so I took it. I don't know what it's for, but you took something precious from me, so I took something precious from you. So what if it means you can't open something now? I don't care. Give it back this minute. Give it to me.
Call yourself witness.
So Mr. Shakespeare has tried and in one case succeeded to take the life of 2 lodgers now. Yes, his motive for doing so is the key to everything that's happened. It's true that there appears to be no motive to support the accusation against Mr. Shakespeare at first. Considering everything we now know, I think there is actually something that could explain it. What? I need to recall every piece of evidence at our disposal. Everything we've seen and heard. Because I'm sure that I just caught a glimpse of the link that runs through all of these events. This is going to be where Selden comes in?
In that case, counsel must demand that you present evidence to the court in support of your claim.
Alright, not the soap, not the teacups, not the envelope, not the crime scene photograph. Medical report? Nope. Man. I feel like it's gonna be the loot. Because the stuff was in there too, the newspaper clipping. I'm gonna try this.
Take that!
That's an official police report, is it not?
The Selden file. How did you get hold of that? Selden? The now sadly deceased Mr. Ross and the defendant Mr. Natsume have only one thing linking them. The fact that they had lodgings in the same room.
Well, yes, we know this, that's certainly.
A room that was formerly occupied by Selden. Until, that is, he was arrested by Scotland Yard for his involvement in multiple burglaries.
I see.
And it so happens that the convict Selden left behind one very substantial mystery when he died. The sum 1,000 pounds worth of loot that he stole, which as yet remains to be found.
Oh yes, of course, it's coming back to me now. It's written in this file here.
1,000 pounds lost en route to hell. That was how the papers summed it up. And it seems that one particular fellow inmate was with the convict in his final moments. It's not hard to imagine Selden entrusting that inmate with his most closely guarded secret. The location of the stolen loot, and perhaps a key to unlock whatever container the valuables were in. You mean this key is... Mr. Shakespeare, it was you, wasn't it? You were at the capital offender's side when he died, were you not? What are you talking about? 'Tis a false charge, I tell you, a false charge! The name of the inmate who was with Selden at his death isn't noted in this file, but a simple telegram to the prison where he died would quickly tell us how false the charge really is.
But even if it's true, why would the man be so intent on killing every subsequent occupant of the convict's lodgings?
There's only one explanation for that, my lord. It was in that very room that Selden hid his loot. Yeah, I believe I've called this out a couple times now too. So it all comes out. Yes, and having established that, all of Mr. Shakespeare's subsequent actions start to make perfect sense. When he was let out of prison following Selden's death, he made immediately for Mr. Garrett's lodgings in the hope of renting Selden's old room. However, the retired armyman was unable to offer him the accommodation of his choice. Because Selden's old room had already been let to somebody else, Mr. Duncan Ross. We still never established how Miss Green knew that Duncan Ross was murdered by Shakespeare. Which is why Mr. Shakespeare subsequently devised his gas-based plot to kill the occupant of the room. When he was successful, he presumably intended to inquire about switching into the newly vacant room. However, certain jittery someone had beaten him to it.
Mr. Soseki Natsume, the defendant of this case no less.
So you decided to use the ploy with the gas again, didn't you, Mr. Shakespeare? This time to oust Mr. Natsume. All for one simple and avaricious reason. To get your hands on the 1,000 pounds of loot left behind by the dead convict. We got it, don't we? Here comes the laugh, right? The laugh is coming soon. So presumably we're gonna get a telegram soon. Looks like I'm gonna snuff it before they get to stretch me neck. Oh, this is... Oh, this is Selden speaking, I think. It's hidden in the room where I was lodging when they got me. Here, this is the key to it. Take it. Always stay one step ahead, mate. See you in hell, I guess. Shakespeare. Great. So, the Selden is Shakespeare theory is gone, which is fine. This is still basically a similar thing. Is this mine? What did he just say? It's mine. That loot is mine. Terrifying. Oh my god, I hate that face. That smile horror movie face. Ugh. Mr. Shakespeare. It's all lies. I don't accept any of it. Why should I? After all, you don't have a shred of evidence. You can't prove I killed that fellow. Forsooth, I'm the victim here, remember? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? This guy's lost it. Psychotic. If I don't admit to it, there's nothing you can do. You can't arrest me for the time being, anyway. Barely, you can't arrest the victim, can you? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? This is scary, I hate this. I'm so close, I just need a few more hours. I swore to myself that I'd get my hands on it, and I can almost taste it now. Do you really think I just give up? There's no question in my mind now. This man is guilty through and through. He seems so utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. I'm afraid that however hard he press him, he'll never admit to what he's done, Mr. Ryu. This guy is crazy. There is a way. Pardon? There's one way I can finish him. No. He's already committed the most heinous crimes to get his hands on that loot, which means all we need to do is find it first. A fine plan. Were it not for the fact that the police thoroughly searched the room following the death of Mr. Ross. If it's there at all, it must be very well hidden indeed. Without conclusive evidence, I certainly cannot rule. If only... I was gonna say, we can use the prints. The skin prints. Yeah. This is the final piece in this complex puzzle, but I think we might have it in our possession already. Or rather, I think we may well have something that can help us find where that loot is hidden. My lord. Yes, Consul. The defense would like to make a proposal about how to find the late convict's hidden loot. I believe we are already in possession of something that could give us a clue as to its whereabouts. It's our last chance, so it has to be worth a gamble. Besides, we've used the same technique once already, and it definitely paid off then. Dude, I am on it with this case, I feel like. Apart from really thinking it was Meter Man, I've been on it. Alright. I didn't think we had the item. I guess we just do the... the handprints on the wall thing, and just use that to explain it?
Take that!
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, those are Mr. Shakespeare's handprints on the wall of his lodgings.
That's right, my lord. Suppose as a result of the defense's independent investigation of the scene. Based on a wonderful new discovery in the field of forensic science by the great detective Mr. Sholmes. A great detective? Is that some kind of joke? Do you really think I'm going to be daunted by a man with such a ridiculous title? Yeah, here it goes. I should think the great bard ought to recognize such a title when he hears one, Mr. Shamspear. Perhaps we should compete for the honor of most ridiculous title. Ah, 'tis Herlock Sholmes himself. What are you doing here, great detective? Your usual haunts are the filthy back streets of the capital, are they not? Ah, Mr. Reaper, it's been too long, and I see your complexion has worsened since last we met. Mr. Sholmes, he does know Lord Van Zeesten well enough to say something like that in any case.
Mr. Sholmes, though you may be heralded as a great detective by the population at large, that does not give you the right to come and go in my courtroom as you see fit.
I may, my lord. Mr. Sholmes' newly developed scientific method has helped us to uncover vital clues in this case already.
Clues, you say?
I call them skin prints, my lord. My method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny. It's the method by which we were able to ascertain this gentleman's gas pipe activities. You need only a small sample of something the individual has previously touched to make an indicator solution. In your case, sir, I used a teacup you had been holding, elementary. Use the key, maybe. So now, Mr. Ryu. Yes? What am I to use as a sample to make the indicator solution this time? Thank you for offering to help, Mr. Sholmes. The convict was arrested. He was living in what is now Saseke's room. Need a sample to help locate Selden's loot that's hidden in his old room. What form will the sample take? Oh, interesting. Present a person. Let's look at the court record. What are the people? I don't see how you present a person. I mean, the only person I could think would be Shamspear, because maybe he told him. I don't think that's what we're going for here. What evidence would it be, though? What evidence would it be? I feel like the thing that it should be is the key. So we're going to try that, actually. We will need something of Selden's in order to create the indicator solution to find his loot. Something the convict owned happens to be in the possession of somebody listed in the court record. Yeah. It is the key. Upon my word, Mr. Ryu, your powers or reasonings appear to be on the up. So which particular person do you have in mind? Gonna be Miss Green?
Take that!
Yeah. Miss Green. Me? What do you want with me? The key around your neck, if you please. Sorry? That key belonged to Selden. There will be remnants of secretions from the man's skin on its surface that we can use. Very true. That is the sample we need. Using it, we can create the indicator solution required for Mr. Sholmes' skin print seeker. And find out exactly what Selden touched in the room that he used to rent. Mr. Shamspear, as one great detective to another, I assure you, if the late convict's haul is hidden somewhere in his former lodgings, I shall uncover it in no more than 30 minutes. So, Mr. Shamspear, wrong voice, truth is well within our grasp now, and as such, you will never get your hands on Selden's stolen wealth. Oh, he's gonna lose it. In that case, I'll gladly let Mr. Sholmes have this key. No, give the key to me. Detective shan't have it. It's over, Mr. Shamspear. No. You're out of options now. There's only one thing left for you to do. Admit your guilt. Oh, shameful spear, despair! Be thy name! Incredible. Incredible. So is that it? Oh, we're gonna get a monologue from him now, I presume? I never intended to kill the man. I just wanted to drive him out of the room, that's all. So you'd have time to find the convict's haul of stolen goods? Yet after you'd killed the young man, you still didn't move into the room. I asked the landlord, of course. I pleaded with him, but he refused. Why? I was 3 months behind with the rent for one thing. Scared really has had a lot to put up with. And he had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting the room out of action for a while. And then this Japanese man swooped in at just the right moment to sign the new lease. Poor Mr. Natsume, what unfortunate timing. Then, 5 days ago, after the incident on Briar Road when the Japanese fellow got himself arrested, I thought I'd finally have my chance, but it wasn't to be. No, the scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day. And if I remember rightly, Sean spent the whole day in there reading books. I couldn't even enter the room, let alone search for the loot. Which is why on the day Mr. Natsume was acquitted and returned to his room, you once again tried your trick of blowing air into the gas pipe that feeds the stove in his room. Unbeknownst to you, however, that action would lead you into a deadly trap. William Shakespeare? How does it go? To be or not to be, that is the question. From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1. Well, let me tell you, in your case, it's not to be. That is the answer. You deserve to die for what you've done. Brutal. And probably true. Great. Did we finish case 3? We have a bit more, I suppose. At first, I really did think it was just a terrible accident. I'll never forget our conversation the night before Duncan died. Oh, is she gonna reveal how she knows now? Gas supply in my new lodgings are a complete disaster, you know, Olive. The gas supply? Yes, the stove always seems to go out in the middle of the night for some reason. That's no joke. They say it's the convict's curse. Oh, Duncan, please don't stay there. I don't care how cheap it is. Alright then, if that's important to you, I'll start looking for a new place. There are spare rooms at my house. Why don't you leave that horrible room tonight? No, I'd better not. We said we'd wait until we'd graduated before we told our parents, remember? But that was the last time we ever spoke. That very night he fell victim to the gas. If only I'd known it was going to happen, I'd have insisted he left that horrible room that instant. But instead, all I've been left with is bitter regret. I stopped going to school. Something kept drawing me back to the house on Briar Road. I saw a stooped Eastern-looking man with a mustache coming out to the house one day when I was there. He walked up the road to Grub Scrubbery for some food, so I followed him and sat myself down next to him. He had some watery-looking soup and started to pick a quarrel with the publican. That place is cursed, I tell you, cursed! The ghost of that convict who used to live there is trying to suffocate me! I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm freezing to death because the stove has gone out. The room is full of gas and I can hardly breathe. But the pipes have been checked, no problem there. It's like I'm the problem, that's what they're thinking. But how could that be? Duncan was gone and now this man had almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? She just logically concluded like a genius. Then I remembered a rumor I'd heard about how the gas companies go around investigating the gas installations. A rumor? Oh, you mean... Yes, everybody's heard the stories, it seems, about how they go around checking the pipes. How anything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing air into the pipework. That's when it started. A little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind. That just wouldn't go away. Yeah. Once I'd had the idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me day and night. So I bought this at one of the black markets in the East End. A Black market? I'd never been. I just heard people talk about them. You really can buy anything you can think of there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on this so easily made me even more determined. I had to find out one way or another. Was Duncan's death an accident? Or was it murder? Your chosen method for establishing the truth was simple, but highly effective. Smear poison on the gas pipe you suspected the man of tampering with, and wait. If Mr. Shakespeare was innocent, nothing would come of what you'd done. But if he was guilty, he would pay for his crimes dearly. That makes perfect sense, actually. I found out the name of the man I suspected, William Shakespeare. Then I wrote him this little note. I have information, yeah. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. We still don't understand why the picture of him and Gerda was in the house, though. You know what I mean? He'd done it. I knew that would worry him enough so he'd be sure to go. So I waited to see if it worked. And of course, Mr. Shakespeare followed the instructions to the letter. I worked out where the gas pipe was straight away, so I smeared a good amount of poison I'd bought all around the mouth of the pipe. All the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done and that it was all just some wild fantasy. This is a good case, I like this. Actually, no. All the time praying that the devil's work would be done and that the culprit would get his just desserts. Yeah. Brutal. That's good stuff. We still have to find the treasure. I don't know if we actually will. This is time for the jury to say their piece. Give us the not guilty.
3 days ago, when you were first stood in the dock before me, this whole affair seemed relatively straightforward. Yes, my lord. I certainly never imagined the depths of depravity that we would subsequently find lurking behind the scenes.
It has been a long road, my Nipponese friend.
Oh, yes.
And one I certainly didn't envisage walking with you. Sounds almost like a compliment, doesn't it?
Nevertheless, together we have reached the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were. Miss Green?
Yes, my lord?
You will henceforth be stripped of your freedom, as punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shakespeare.
Yes, I know.
And you, Mr. Shakespeare, you will be tried for the murder of Mr. Duncan Ross in cold blood, and the subsequent attempted murder of Mr. Saseki Natsume here present.
It's interesting. I really thought that the Romeo and Juliet thing would be more relevant, but it actually wasn't.
Mr. Ryu?
Yes? Yesterday, at the hospital, when you and your friends stopped me from ending your life by drinking what was left in the poison bottle, I wasn't myself. I can't even really remember what was going through my mind. To be or not to be, I suppose. That's a question that's so hard to answer, it seems. Well, personally, I'm glad of your being here, Miss Green. Oh, and I'd like to believe that it's a blessing Mr. Shakespeare didn't die when he ingested the poison. For your sake, at the very least. Yeah. Look at the smile. She never smiles. Because of you, I chose life, not death. And now you've made the truth come out at last. This is nice. Really, I can't thank you enough. Oh, Miss Green.
Mr. Saseki Natsume.
Yes, my lord?
The court declares that you are exonerated from all blame in this matter. Accordingly, I would call upon the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty.
We are in full agreement, my lord.
In that case, I hereby declare the defendant.
Let's go. Case number 2 solved. We have 3 cases to go in the Ace Attorney Chronicles, and then we're all done. Crazy. It's been a journey. We're past 60 episodes now. That's insane. Insanity.
Court is adjourned.
Alright. We are going to end it here, actually. Before we get into any post-trial dialogue, we're going to end it here today. Because it's already late. It's already an hour, 25 minutes into the video. We got to end it here. We're going to go post-trial stuff next time. And then whatever is after that, I have no idea. It's pretty wide open because this again was in the past. It's the memoirs? How do you say it? Of the Clouded Kokoro, right? So we don't know exactly what's next and how this case relates to the present, right? There's some part of this case that relates to the bigger picture that we're dealing with now. And what that is, I'm not entirely sure of. Honestly, I thought it would be more clear, but it's definitely not. At least not to me. Could have something to do with the gas companies. Could have something to do with Selden. Could have something to do with the jury selection, or what else is in this case? Could have something to do with the treasure, actually, maybe. That's a possibility, isn't it? But yeah, that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you take care of yourselves. Make sure that you take care of others, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.